Something unusual happened the moment the data from Shanghai appeared on the timing screens. George Russell had just taken pole. Mercedes locked out the front row, and at first it looked like a normal qualifying story. But inside the paddock, engineers started noticing something far more interesting. The Mercedes W17 was not simply fast down the straight. It kept deploying energy longer than almost every rival. When Lewis Hamilton looked at those numbers, his reaction immediately raised a deeper question inside Formula One. Has Mercedes already understood something about the new hybrid regulations that the rest of the grid is only beginning to discover? Before we go deeper, make sure to subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now. Every message is read carefully. And something a lot of people ask is how these news-style videos are made. Simple videos like this helped monetize several YouTube channels. If you want to learn how to create channels in this format, there's an ebook in the pinned comment. Just open the link and see how it works. Something unusual happened the moment the data from Shanghai appeared on the timing screens. George Russell had just taken pole position. Mercedes locked out the front row. At first, it looked like a normal qualifying story. But inside the paddock, engineers started noticing something far more interesting. The Mercedes W17 was not simply fast down the straight. It kept deploying energy longer than almost every rival. When Lewis Hamilton looked at those numbers, his reaction quietly triggered a deeper question across Formula One. Has Mercedes already understood something about the new hybrid regulations that the rest of the grid is only beginning to discover? When Russell crossed the line in sprint qualifying, the reaction inside the paddock was immediate. Pole position, and right behind him, Kimi Antonelli. A full Mercedes front row. On the surface, it looked like a perfectly executed qualifying session. But engineers rarely stop at the headline result. Within minutes, laptops were open across the garages. Sector times appeared on screens. Speed traces started circulating quietly through the paddock, and one pattern became impossible to ignore. The Mercedes was not gaining most of its advantage through the corners. The real difference appeared on the longest straight of the circuit, and that is exactly where the new hybrid era of Formula One becomes most revealing. Under the new regulations, raw engine power is no longer the entire story. What matters now is how efficiently a car can harvest electrical energy under braking and then release that energy down the straight. Every team on the grid is still learning how to manage that balance. Harvest energy entering the corner, store it in the battery, deploy it when acceleration begins. But almost every car faces the same limitation. Halfway down the straight, the battery runs out of deployable energy. The electric boost fades. Acceleration begins to flatten. Drivers call it clipping, and when clipping happens too early, the lap time disappears. During Russell's lap in Shanghai, something looked different. The Mercedes did not seem to hit that wall. The car kept accelerating. The electric assistance stayed alive longer than expected, while several rivals began losing electrical boost halfway down the straight. The Mercedes continued building speed, only a few kilometers per hour faster. But in Formula One, a few kilometers per hour across a long straight can easily become several tenths of a second over a single lap. That difference can decide pole position, and that is exactly why Lewis Hamilton's reaction after the session carried so much weight inside the paddock. Hamilton spent years inside the Mercedes organization. Few drivers understand that hybrid system philosophy better than he does. That team built an entire era of dominance around energy efficiency, not just raw power, precision, the harvesting systems, the deployment maps, the cooling solutions that allow the battery to deliver energy at exactly the right moment. When Hamilton looked at the sector data from Russell's lap, he immediately recognized something. The Mercedes package right now looks extremely efficient under the new regulations. He did not accuse anyone of breaking the rules. There were no dramatic statements, just a calm observation that quickly traveled through the paddock. And when a driver with Hamilton's experience makes a comment like that, engineers start paying very close attention. Because Formula One has seen this pattern before. A new regulation era begins. Most teams spend the opening races trying to understand how the new rules behave in real conditions. Development programs shift, engineers adapt, performance gradually evolves. But sometimes one team reads the rulebook slightly differently from the beginning, finds a more stable balance between systems, understands earlier how the car should behave, and suddenly the car operates in a way that others cannot easily replicate. If Mercedes has truly discovered a more efficient way to manage hybrid energy under these new regulations, the story of Shanghai may eventually be remembered for something much bigger than a pole position. It may be remembered as the first visible signal that one team has already moved ahead in understanding the new hybrid era. Not through a controversial device, not through anything illegal, but through efficiency, the kind of efficiency that only reveals itself when engineers begin comparing data line by line. Right now, nothing suggests that Mercedes has broken any regulations. The car passed FIA inspections. Everything appears to be fully within the rulebook. But in Formula One, legality is only the starting point of the story. The biggest advantages in this sport rarely appear as obvious inventions. They appear as patterns. A car accelerating slightly longer down the straight. A speed trace that continues climbing while others flatten. A driver who has seen this kind of advantage before, quietly recognizing the signal. That is why the atmosphere in the paddock shifted after Shanghai. The conversation is no longer only about Russell's pole lap. It is about what the data behind that lap might be revealing. Because the real question now circulating across Formula One is simple. Did Mercedes simply arrive better prepared for this weekend? Or did the team uncover something inside the new hybrid regulations that the rest of the grid is still trying to understand? If the second possibility turns out to be true, the Chinese Grand Prix may have shown something far more important than a qualifying result. It may have revealed the first sign of where the championship battle is really heading. Now the discussion moves to you. Do you believe Mercedes discovered something special in this new hybrid era? Or was Shanghai simply the result of a perfectly executed qualifying lap? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy deep Formula One analysis like this, subscribe to the channel. Because the biggest stories in Formula One rarely begin with the headlines. They begin quietly, hidden inside the data.